What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? Welcome, welcome, welcome. What's up, y'all? You're at the right place at the right time. My name is Ken Billions, if you didn't know. Shout out to you and yours, wherever you are, wherever you're at. I hope you are appreciated wherever you are. I hope you are loved on wherever you are. I hope you are being appreciated and honored. I hope you are amongst friends. This is Heaven on Earth, the number one home for personal development. This is a place where you come ordinary and you leave extraordinary. If you don't know me, my name is Ken Billions, and I'm honored and I'm happy to get to know you, whoever you are, wherever you are at. This is Ministry for the Abstract Mind, and this is a safe space for everybody out there that has an out the box philosophy. Um, am I? Hold on one second. Something is making noise. One second. I am echoing somewhere. Can you hear me? Am I doubling? Let me take this out. Take this off. What about now? Sounds like I was echoing. If you can hear me, press 1, and if you can see me, press 2. Is there still an echo? Let me take that mic off. What about now? Can you hear me? All good? Take this off. All good? All right. All right. No echo now. All good? Man, at Heaven on Earth, we don't believe you have to die in order to go to heaven. All you have to do is be real, reflective, enlightened, accountable, and most importantly, limitless. You know my motto, you know our saying that this is ministry for the abstract mind, and it's a safe space for people out there that have an out-the-box philosophy. And that's what you're going to need to understand today's conversation. I'm going to need your mind to stretch a little bit. I am going to need you to not look at things from a very, very narrow view of the world, right? I hope that I can help that. And if you walk away and you still set in your ways, that's fine. That's your right. Go ahead and give me a like for one time for the algorithm. Let YouTube know that we're rocking out, and salute to you wherever you are. Demure. That is hilarious. What does it mean to be demure? Right? It's interesting what things become trends. It's interesting what are the things that become popular. It's interesting how people say that, we need to come together and we don't work together, but that's not true, because we work together to make things popular. We work together to make things trendy. So we definitely can come together, and we definitely have the ability to stick together, because when something becomes popular, that is from human agreement. We all agree that this is the hot shit right now, okay? So when it comes to Demure, right, this is a collaboration of people saying that they're feeling this, right? Then the algorithm picks it up and it sends it everywhere. But it first comes from human agreement. And people are agreeing that this word is part of the modern lexicon now. And I see women that are making stitches and videos about demure. But what does demure mean? Demure is an Anglo-French surname. So this could have been someone's last name. But the etymology of it is calm, settled, sober, grave, serious, mature, fully grown, ripe, discreet. And I'm like, interesting. Calm, settled, sober, discreet, grave, serious, mature, fully grown, ripe, and discreet. Sounds harmless, sounds innocent, right? And it's how you know when you're really in the personal development journey, because it doesn't matter where the message come from. If it's right and exact, it's right and exact. So if I close my eyes and I imagine Myron saying the same exact thing, or the guys from the whatever podcast, or Satan the Sinner, or Kevin Samuels, if he said, now mind you, I disagree with these individuals, right? If they said that they like a demure woman, there would be a huge pushback. If Myron on Fresh and Fit said, I like my women calm, settled, sober, grave, serious, mature, fully grown, ripe, and discreet, there would be a huge pushback. Myron would be called misogynist. Myron will be called woman hating. Myron would be called an outdated man for thinking that, right? But what's the difference if Myron said he likes a demure woman and a trans woman coming online and saying, you hoes ain't demure? What is the difference? And here's when you know that people are not on a personal development journey. If demure is right and exact, if that's what people believe, then it don't matter who said it, right? So what we're saying is we like our personal development coming from people that we like. Because if demure is correct, what's the difference between that and feminine, fit, and friendly when the red pill dudes was saying this for the last 5, 6 years? Now, I disagree with their positions. I'm in the middle. But it's very interesting that a trans woman can say, demure, you hoes, you bitches could never, right? But Myron or any red pill creator, if they say the same exact thing, that they like their women demure, right? Feminine, fit, friendly, cooperative, right? Why, when they say it, it's a difference? Why? Because Myron, it has a patriarchal mindset. Okay, cool. Can a trans woman also have a patriarchal mindset? I mean, what is the origins of the trans woman? What is the origin story? So, is the straight male the only male with patriarchal views, right? So, if I want to get a message to women, all I have to do is just change the packaging. Okay. So what we're dealing with partiality, and that ain't personal development, because personal development is even if my enemy says something that is right and exact, it does not matter that it came from my enemy. Right and exact is right and exact, right? Interesting how we deal with bias. When black women or brown women display sexuality, we say, oh God, why are they so over sexual? Oh God, we need to have a different image. This is what the men say. But I watched a girl say, hot too, spit on that thing. And the same exact thing that men say they don't want, they said, where's she at though? So what we're saying is you actually don't have a problem with sexuality. You just have a problem who's wearing it, right? So men and women do the same exact thing in terms of their bias. Women don't want to be checked on anything, but let a trans woman say the same thing that the straight male was saying, and you receive it. Cool. The men say they want a specific kind of woman who's conservative and reserved, right? Who is a lady in the streets but a freak in the bed, right? Who doesn't lead with sexuality, who is soft and demure, right? But the hot two girl was on camera, right? Being very sexual, and the men said, where's she at though? That's what I need in my life. But what's the difference between Cardi and Meg? What's the difference? The difference is who's saying it. And that's how you know that people are not in the spirit of personal development, men or women, because you pick and choose who can come with correction. First, you must like the individual, and that's very dangerous because what you may need to hear and the improvements that you need to make in your life, you're not going to receive it because you don't like him or her. Now, the thing about the liking, you can like the wrong people who mean you no good, right? Personal development, when it's about moving forward, when it's about living better, when it's about reaching goals, it's not always going to come from the most charismatic speaker. It's not going to come always from the person you're sexually attracted to, right? When you are really focused on making upgrades in your life, you don't care who the message come from, even if it's a child, right? But because we're in a stage of cult worship where it matters how the individual looks aesthetically. It matters on their gender. It matters their hair texture. It matters about the identity politics, or it will not be received. Hot 2 Girl is no different than Cardi and Meg and Lotto and Sexy Red. When Sexy Red shows sexuality, it's not received. Why? She's a dark-skinned chick from the hood. Hawk 2 Girl is a chick from Tennessee. What's the difference between going to Pound Town and Hawk 2 Girl? Isn't it the same thing? It is. The issue is who it's coming from. Cool. When Kevin Samuels came out with what men desire and what men like, even though I disagree with many positions on Kevin Samuels, I choose the path of the middle. So I'm not on anyone's side, but it's very interesting. Feminine, fit, friendly, cooperative is the same as Demure. The difference is it's a trans woman. But Kevin Samuels and a trans woman, don't they have the same origin story? So Kevin Samuels is the face of patriarchy. But isn't Demure also patriarchal in terms of how it sees women? The difference is who you will accept the message from. And that is very important as we're in a very political climate. And if you only go off who you like, you may be in a burning house because all the person has to do is appeal to your confirmation bias, namely gender. If it comes from a man and it's other guys, you will receive it. As if women can't be master teachers. Oh, they definitely can. As if women don't know math, science, and technology. As if women don't know finances. They definitely do, right? But if it doesn't come from a man, you won't receive it, even though the woman may have information that can change your life, but you can't receive it because in your mind, it has to be packaged a certain kind of way. Cool. Or you could be in the cult of women to where you can't receive anything that a man says. It has to come from women, right? Cool. Cool. But what if the woman has you in a burning house? How would you be able to tell? If you deal with biases, if you have this internal thing in your mind that your personal development and your improvement must fit into a certain package and a certain aesthetic, you may be losing and not know it because the person telling you the information, you like them, they're handsome, or they just have the same gender as you. Personal development makes no distinctions, right? Do you have the tools that I can use in my toolbox to make me a better father, husband, wife, mother, business owner? Do you have the tools that can help my spiritual path? I don't give a damn who has the message. Does what they're saying apply to me? That's the most important thing. I've had women that have helped me be upright. I have women that have assisted on my personal development journey. Were they perfect women? Hell no, they didn't need to be, though. That message that she had was specifically for me. I don't need the individual to fit a certain aesthetic. And if you do, if they have to be ADOS, if the message can't come from a tether, yo, you're in bad shape. If the message can't come from a male because you've had a bad experience from males, finance information is finance information. Agricultural information is agricultural information. The blockchain is the blockchain. It does not matter who's telling it to you. Is it right and exact? Okay? So, for the ladies that love being demure, I'm with you. Do your thing. But it's the same thing that the red pill dudes say. For the dudes that love that hot two girl, cool. It's the same thing that black women are saying online. But you're dealing with bias, right? So the white woman can experience the full range of sexuality. She can be she can be verbally, what's the word, crass. She can lead with her sexuality. She can do film. She can do all these things, and she doesn't have to worry about not getting a man, right? She's not in a box. She can experience the full range of her femininity. How do we know? Because she got 1 million followers like that, and it's men all in the comments saying, where's she at, though? Right? But you need your black woman very Christian, though. You need her very Muslim, though. You need her very covered up, though. You need the black woman extremely conservative, while the white woman can experience full womanhood. That's not personal development. And for women, you need your message to come from a gay man for you to listen to it. And if the gay man is a master teacher, salute. But if it's the same thing that the straight man is saying, you are not on a perfect personal development journey, love. You are on a biased journey where you only want to surround yourself with an easy path of individuals that agree with you, individuals that won't challenge you, individuals that make you safe in your viewpoint of how you look at the world. But that's not personal development. Personal development is not comfortable, right? Personal development for a man is being able to hear a woman when she comes with correction, even if it stings, even if it bruises my masculinity or my cultural ego and who I think I am. Is cis right? Yes or no? That's the interesting thing about Demure. The other interesting thing is, so we have a box here, right? It's one of my shade boxes, right? In this box is blackness. In this box is how the black family should look, how black and brown men should look, how black and brown women should look. And what's in here is your religious views, your politics, your economics. What's in here is cultural identity, right? If it doesn't fit into here, then it's a problem. And if it doesn't fit in here, we have to link it to something very commercial. Oh, trauma. If your blackness doesn't fit in this box, then we have to link it to trauma. We can't link it to free spirit. We can't link it to individuality. We can't link it to, well, that's just how you want to live and you're a different man or different woman. No, no, no. Because if you don't fit in here, something is wrong with you. Okay, we'll come back to our box later. Sultan Malay Ishmael, who they say is a descendant of Prophet Muhammad, ruled Morocco from 1672 to 1727. He had 4 wives, 500 concubines. It is said that he had over 1,000 children. Now, when history talks about this individual, they don't run him through a trauma filter. Okay? His lifestyle does not fit into the box. And last I checked, Morocco's in Africa. Suad bin Abdulaziz Al Saud ruled Saudi Arabia from 1953 to 1964. He had 30 wives, 108 children. There's no psychologist that can sit down with these individuals and run them through a cultural filter. Why? These are very powerful individuals, and powerful individuals don't fit into here. Simon Watson, the British sperm donor, is said to fathered 800 children. Now, he did this with women. Are they creating broken homes? See, it's only broken when it looks like this. Because if you look at the history of humankind, you have individuals living way more extreme lives. But the issue is they're not a black man or a black woman. If you're a black man and you're a black woman, you must exist in here. You must exist in a way that the shade room and baller alert and spiritual world can grasp. Okay? You must exist in a way where if you are off script, people can say, oh, that's dysfunction and that's trauma. Do you know why? Because when you are black, you must live a certain life to where the black collective understands. When the black collective don't understand what your lifestyle is, then it's going to be called trauma. Okay? It's going to look, which is crazy because reading from the same religious book as the people you are begging to get justice from is considered normal, right? Not being violent back to the same people that are violent to you is considered normal. When someone says no, is when someone is assaulted by people that work for the city or the state or the government, and it's through violence, but the people respond back with nonviolent protests, that's considered normal, right? But having 3 children by 8 or 8 children by 3 women, when you're rich as fuck, that's considered trauma. Do you know why? Because everything begins and ends with this ideal that we have of black people getting married. Oh my God, robots are taking people's jobs. Don't worry, just get married. Marriage for black folks is robotussing. That's it, right? Oprah, as rich as she is, but she ain't married though, right? Yo, do you know I'm about to set up a civilization on Mars? But are you married? Marriage and kids is the highest form of creation for melanated people. All you have to do is say you're married. It doesn't matter what the marriage looks like. It doesn't matter if it even works or not. Are you married? Right? Because when you're powerless, you cling to things that's all you have. So that's why it's always conflicts about who's black and who's not. Because what do black people in America have outside of blackness? So that's why it's a fight for it. No, you're a tether. No, you're mixed race. Who builds the skyscrapers, who controls the military, who controls the Federal Reserve, who has all the land. They don't look like this. The only thing black folks have is blackness, and it must fit in here. Because the British sperm donor Simon Watson, who got women pregnant, but they are not the face of broken homes. How the hell is Cam Newton the face of broken homes? When if you open up the world and look, people are doing this shit all day long. I got a better one for you. How about he goes by Joe Donor? As of July 18th, a 47-year-old man using the pseudonym Joe Donor claimed to have fathered up to 150 children by using a Facebook page to connect with women looking for free sperm. Generally by having sex with Joe rather than artificial insemination. Do you know how Joe Donor was meeting the women? Through Facebook. And he is said to have fathered 150 women, right? Who's the women and who's the men, right? But they are not the face of dysfunction, right? The black male and the black woman is. Do you know why? Is because blackness must fit in a very, very, very small box, right? Let's run some numbers real quick. Cam Newton, year one, $14,893,544. Okay. Year one, young person. Year two, $1,376,159. Year three, $2,377,318. You see where I'm going with this? Year four, this is just football contracts. Year four, $3,378,477. Year five, $31 million. Year six, $23 million. Year seven, $13,660. $13,660. Year eight, $15 million. Year nine, $16,700,000. Year 10, $3,750,000. And year 11, $6 million. That is over $100 and something million. He's only 35 years old. You can't tell no one with that kind of money how to live. They do not fit here. And another thing, don't ask why a woman would sign up for some shit like that when the man made $31 million in 1 year. That is not regular money. That is more globally than the 99% of white men. What do you mean, why would a woman sign up to be his baby mama? One thing that people at the bottom have to understand, he who has the gold rules. Rich people at the top of the pyramid don't go in here. Remember this little box? A person that made $31 million in a year, you can't put them in here. I'm sorry. I know you think everybody is equal. We are not. And Cam Newton's children by those women are going to do better than the married man that is just in one home with children. Y'all children are not the same. We are dealing with class. So, not all women, but if a woman has to be the baby mama of a man that makes $30 million in a year and who's part of a fraternity, right? Who still has the ability to earn millions until he dies, right? Using his popularity, using the NFL brand, right? Why wouldn't a woman do that opposed to being just married in a traditional relationship to a guy that is going to cap on his best day $70,000 in 1 year? The average man in the world does not make $100,000, right? Why wouldn't a woman do that? What people don't understand the game is about, number one, it is about surviving, right? It's just about surviving. And you're going to sacrifice on either end. You could be the rich man's baby mama, and that's a sacrifice. Or you could be the regular blue collar man's wife, and that's a sacrifice. You just have to pick your individual thing. It ain't no right or wrong. It's just whatever right and wrong for you. But one thing people at the bottom have to come to terms with: just because someone is brown skinned, it does not mean they are part of the black community. Cam Newton made $30 million in 1 year. He is not part of your community. His life is not your life, right? He has access to a world many people don't even know exists. There are women that have access to a world that you didn't know exists. You cannot audit their thinking. They're in a different arena than you. All these think pieces about Cam Newton and why would black women need to get it together. What do you mean? I thought it was all about choose better, right? You have to choose capitalism first in a capitalistic country. So why wouldn't it? 14 mil, 1 mil, 2 mil, 3 mil, 31 mil, 23 mil, 13 mil, 15 mil, 16 mil, 3 million, 6 million. This is, so what you're saying is, no, sis, you settled. She settled, right? Only because she's a black woman, right? But Simon Watson, who's said to have fathered over 800 kids, those women wouldn't be considered settling. He's a sperm donor, and these were many white women. See, the playbook is way different. So it's a black woman must behave and do things in the way that the shade room comment section can go be like, yeah, sis, yeah, it has to fit in that. Meanwhile, you have women around the world being the fifth wife, sixth wife of a sultan. And sorry, in America, Cam Newton bread is damn near like sultan bread. He's made over $100 million and he's only 35. So when Arab women do that and other women do that, we turn the other way because other people culturally don't have to fit in a box. But when it comes to black, you must fit in a box. Your black family must look a certain kind of way. It got to look like Coretta and Martin Luther King. It got to look like Betty Shabazz and Malcolm X. If your black family doesn't look like the shade room thinks it should look, then you are dysfunctional, you have trauma. You have to look like Sierra and Russell Wilson. You have to look like that, right? Because if you don't, then you have, the black box doesn't understand what you're doing, right? So me, I don't have a daughter. My daughter got two options. Then I got to look at our family bloodline, right? Fortune favors the bold. On one hand, you have this rich NFL motherfucker, right? And on another hand, you have a regular dude that loves the hell out of her, right? And I got to make a projection on, I might not live long to help my daughter be an old woman. what's my resources, right? I would treat this shit just like a business. That baby is a business. Cam don't need to marry them because you can still set up the same legal shit. Life insurance, right? You can set up the same exact paperwork that people have by default in marriage. You can set the same situation up. This is my demands. This is what I want. I'll pump out as many babies as you want. On paper, if anything happens to him, you and yours are secured. You don't gotta worry about his other kids unless that's the dynamic. But on paper, you and yours are secure. So you telling me that even if Cam doesn't marry the girl Jazzy, but she sets up a situation with him that she has life insurance for her downline, she has a home, she has all the legal shit that a wife would have, because that's all it is. Legal things, right? Work the system, right? Or be married to a regular individual, and that's okay too. But just understand that everything got a price. It's a price having a baby by a rich nigga. Young too. Young. And we forget that. He's young, right? And all these think pieces about a 35-year-old with 100 million. What would you do with 100 million? What would you do if you made $30 million in a year? How would you act? You're telling me that your day-to-day, how it looks, would actually stay the same? You're telling me that making 30, you know why people live traditional? Because they don't have an option not to, right? They don't have an option to do anything else. So they have to follow those rules because that's the only thing that's available to them. So there's an incentive of falling in line. When you make $100 million in a year, all you got to do is pay your taxes. The world is your oyster. You make $100 million in America. You make $100 million in America. The world is open up to you, right? So black women that make money, why you want them to live this? Here we go. Back to this box. You need her to be like Coretta. And it's messed up that people live vicariously through people and we mirror neurons. And Cam's baby moms, there's whole think pieces. Black women need to get it together. This nigga's rich, right? He's a different kind of rich. It's not just you made $1 million. He made $30 million in 1 year. And I understand that people can't fathom that number because people get around people that make 300,000 and you think that's money, right? You think that's money, right? The person made $30 million in a year and you want them to not be this person's baby mama? I'm a person that took penitentiary chances for thousands, okay? For thousands to pay the mortgage, right? I took penitentiary chances because being on the bottom of capitalism is super hard. That integrity shit sounds good until you're starving, right? That integrity shit sounds good until you see your cars get repoed. All that morality shit that black people always want to be the face of. How can you be the face of morality and per capita the poorest? Make that make sense. Always saying what you will and you won't do, right? And then you think that you're going to vote a better life into existence, right? Praying that Yeshua, praying that this Messiah comes back and alleviates the pain. Well, your grandma was praying for the same thing. And her grandma was praying for the same thing. Has anything changed? You can't be the poorest and have the most morality. Morality is for the rich. Morality is for the full stomach. Morality is for the people on the other side of capitalism. Then you can be a sage. Then you can be like, that doesn't work for me. When you are born to poor parents and poor grandmothers and grandfathers, and you don't have an inheritance, so your grandmother died past you nothing. Your grandfather died past your mother and father nothing. Your mother and father died and past you nothing. You're the one that has to be moral? I'm down with heaven on earth. And based on heaven on earth, I have to get my heaven any way that I can get my heaven. There's consequences for doing, and there are consequences for not doing. But when I'm watching think pieces trying to run Cam, an MVP, through this regular nigga lens, are you crazy? I seen it was a whole TikTok think piece, men talking too. Well, yeah. Cam is not a real alpha male. He was a captain of a football team. No, dog, you just can't do it. He was a captain of the football team. Regardless of what you think of Russell Wilson, he is the leader of other men. That is the epitome of being whatever this alpha is, being a leader of other men in a position where men take your orders. Hey, we're doing it like this, and other dudes, big, strong, rich dudes, fall in line and say, take us there. This dude went to the Super Bowl. He's not an alpha because he doesn't do his relationship like Malcolm X. But Malcolm also died poor too, right? Betty Shabazz also struggled, right? Malcolm didn't pass on resources for his family, but it's all good though, because it's all about the image, right? We need black to be image. Do you know what I'm saying? We need the black woman to have this image. Fuck the image. Survive. And I know we talk a lot about abundance and you can't be in survival mode. Yo, that shit, what we're talking comes from affluent people. Abraham Hicks is not broke. Brian Tracy is not broke. You know what I'm saying? These people are not broke. So when they create the thoughts are things, they would know. Right? Abraham Hicks is doing cruises. And remember, white people broke. It's not black people broke. It's different. Right? So for brown people, black people, your moves has to be a little different. And your decision making is not going to appease the collective. As a black woman, you have to worry about you first, sis. You cannot worry about the collective of what the sisterhood is going to say about the dude you pick or how you get on the other side of finances. As a man, you cannot worry about what the bros think. You cannot run your relationship through a black Christian paradigm. You can't run your relationship through a talking point, divestment, social media, shade room paradigm. You're on the bottom, right? And no matter how much you pray, that shit ain't gonna open up. Because you can't tell me you pray harder than your granny. Right? And she died poor. Many of them died poor, or they died on substance abuses. What's the point? The point is, if I ran across a woman that was making $30 million a year, I'd definitely be her other nigga. Easy. I don't care what the bros say. What? 30 million? I understand the big picture, right? And I'm a person that took penitentiary chances for money. So I've been to prison, I've been homeless, and I'm telling you, being on the bottom like that, and your money ain't straight, and your situation ain't straight, it's not fun, and nobody got you. I definitely be the other nigga of a rich woman. Are you crazy? Holla at me when you holla at me. Get to me when you get to me. That's the game. What? Of course the bro's gonna be like, oh, nigga, you got self-esteem issues. Maybe I do. Maybe I do. Or maybe this is how the game goes because you mate from the neck up, not the waist down, right? Oprah wouldn't have to marry me. I'm already locked in. I have her Rolodex. Any project that I want funded is getting funded. You don't gotta marry me, my love. That shit is the only show the community, so the community could be like, yeah, and you could get your good Negro snacks. That's all this shit is about. Good Negro snacks. So now people look at Cam Newton baby mamas, so no sisterhood snacks for them. Why? Well, I thought it was choose better. Who the fuck has an option to marry or have a baby by a nigga who make 30 million? Now, how do you work the game? If you got a baby by a dude that made $100 million and you're hurting, you dumb. Yeah, people can laugh at you, right? This shit is about heaven on earth. Everybody not gonna get heaven on earth from a degree, right? If you can, dope. Everybody not gonna get heaven on earth because they got an inheritance. If you do, that's amazing. Everybody can't dunk a basketball, right? Everybody's not the prettiest. Everybody's not the tallest. How do you get your heaven on earth? You have to make different decisions than other people, right? You're not in a position to go platinum. You ain't in a position to have a good mother or a good father. You got to play your hand. So however you get your heaven, the community can't say shit. Do you know why? Because there ain't no trust for you from the community. These same individuals have left the youth nothing. And how they choose to get on, whether that's an OnlyFans, whether that's to be a content creator, whether that's to be a mistress or a rich man's whore. I don't give a damn, right? Because guess what? That stomach, those same, ask them for something. And I've been on the bottom. You know what I mean? There ain't no community when you on that prison bus. There was 20 years ago, I stayed in a shelter, right? In Wilmington, Delaware. I stayed in the shelter. And it was very eye-opening because the men that I was in there with were invisible. And it was the holiday time, and you had to leave at a certain time. You could only come back at a certain time. So these men were invisible. I was 20. Mind you, I had Farrakhan books in my book bag, right? I had all the Black conscious books while staying at the shelter. The knowledge about the community couldn't get me out the shelter. I needed to go to a white man to ask them, can I stay at Catholic Charities? Nothing from the Black conscious shit could help my situation, right? So the men will go out, come in very depressed, no family, just forgotten about. Nobody had nothing for these men. And I remember that of how invisible they were. Very invisible. And I would see them in the street at the bus stop, and they would just be kind of existing. And I was like, damn, the same invisible man, you put 100,000 in his pocket, boom, a light goes. Right now he has attention, right? And I was like, damn, I knew then that the worst thing you could be in the world is poor. No one likes the poor man or the poor woman, right? And there is shaming tools in place to keep a person poor, right? That's what shame is, to keep you poor and guilty for making money, moving forward, having options, right? Because the majority of the people on the planet is poor. Even though the world is abundant, it really is. But we're taught how to be poor. And blackness is the ultimate poor filter, because all you have to do is place blackness on top of the man or woman, and it automatically strips them from imagination and moving forward. When you look at Arabs, sheiks, you know how many wives and concubines and children they have? As many as they want. No one will look at those women and be like, sis, you played yourself. What's her alternative? Right? What's the option? Right? No one will look at the man and be like, you're creating broken homes. Home is a mindset. Is it cool to see your mom and dad laying in the bed every day? Yeah. But that can look any way you want. Family does not have to look one way. You have a mother and father dynamic. There are some people same sex raising children, right? There are some people multiple partners raising children. But for some reason, also the nuclear family dynamic, man, woman, that is not ancient. That's not ancient, okay? And that's very cultural, because when you're dealing with indigenous, it's very interesting how we're indigenous one minute and then we're very European the next minute. So we just kind of pick and choose which one we are, right? We have an issue with white supremacy, but white supremacy is man, woman. White supremacy does not include others, right? So we are natives to America one minute, but then we hop in our European bag the next minute. If you are native to America and that's what you claim and that's your ancestry, it wasn't, the family dynamic wasn't based on man and woman. It was based on a village and a collective raising children. Those babies belong to everybody. And even further, nobody owned each other's dick and pussy, right? So the monogamy dynamic is also white supremacy. Men slept with who they want. Women also slept with who they want. All you have to do is look up the Pawnee, look up the Sioux, look up their customs before missionaries came and started tweaking their life and started creating hierarchical structures within their tribes. So it's interesting the vehicles we choose to ride in when it fits. When it's talking to Cam Newton, you run him through a filter of European tradition. Cool, right? But then we go from there, and then we're like, no, but we're natives. No, are we or not? Are we African or not? Are we natives or are we not? Like, we gotta pick and choose, because the way that we view the world every time is always through a European lens. Every single time. When it's time to check a woman, oh, you're not a traditional woman. What tradition? No one ever asks what tradition. What cultural tradition, right? The culture of a Puritan is not the only tradition that has ever existed. Whose tradition are you comparing the black woman to say she's not traditional? What tradition? Seminole tradition? Choctaw tradition? Navajo tradition? Apache tradition? Asante tradition? What tradition? Right? We are the white people that we complain about. Right? Give me an ideal, put it in the black collective, let them talk about it, and you'll hear we are very much, the black man is the white man, right? There's no separation. The black woman is the white woman. There's no separation. We are the same group of people. We are tethered to each other. We see the world exactly like they do. Oh, get rid of white supremacy, but keep the religion, keep the way we get married, keep the gender dynamics, keep the way we do business, keep everything intact, but let's just replace it with a black male at the top. That's the only problem we have with white supremacy, or this ideal of white supremacy. I don't subscribe to that. The problem with it is who's the supreme one, but we would keep the same dynamics. Just swap the Englishman out, swap the Anglo out, and put the black man at the top. But we would keep everything the same. Keep the gender dynamics, keep the business practices, keep the religious structure, keep the fraternity, keep everything, just change the man out. That's all this shit is about, right? So, John Donor, 150 kids, right? Sperm donor. Simeon Watson, 800 kids, sperm donor, right? Sultan Moulay Ishmael, descendant of Prophet Muhammad, 4 wives, 500 concubines, 1,000 children. When history looks back on these people, even people now, the only people that get the label as trauma are people that look like this. Because unless it fits within this little blackness box, it's trauma, right? So it's a very small window for a black man and black woman to operate in. You must color in the lines, right? You cannot put a relationship in the way that you are designed. A black woman, which is so messed up, her relationship has to align with whatever the sisterhood agrees with, or she has low self-esteem. She has to date and mate in a way where other black women say, okay, that's how it goes, sis. The black man must behave in a way that the community would be like, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. Okay, I agree with that. And I call that the black app. I've never made $30 million. I've never made $3 million in a year. You can't tell me nothing now, right? I don't live in that. I will have my family the way I want to, right? I don't care about being viewed through a black Christian lens. You see this? My face is tatted. My face is tatted up. You know why? Because I do what I want. And I win and lose with that mindset. I don't care what niggas think about me. Period. I don't care how niggas view my face. I don't care how niggas view my family. There is a people out there for me, and they might have a different hair complexion. They might got a different skin tone. If you don't fuck with me, I will go over there. I do not have to be accepted by this ADOS, FBA. I don't have to be accepted by the black collective. My child don't have to be accepted by the black collective. The women that are in my life, they don't have to be accepted by the sisterhood. We will go that way, right? And the problem is, which is stunning to me, that a Cam Newton, a Nick Cannon, these black celebrities that are millionaires, that are up, need validation from the black community. You are bugging. I will vote for who I want to. I will do my own thing, but I'll also, if you got $10, if your product costs $10, I'm gonna pay for it though. I'm gonna respect your business. I'm gonna respect your movements. I'm gonna respect your way of life, right? I'm not gonna trip you up, but I'll be damned if I live within this small shade room comment section, right? The think piece is about Cameron and this chick. Like, she really eating him. She's not eating him. She's not eating him. He's dumb as hell for even explaining himself, right? And she's running him through a filter of, you need to behave like this or you're creating broken homes. Says who? Says who? Says Saad bin Amadou Saad ruled Saudi Arabia from 1953 to 1964. He had 30 wives and 108 children. You can't run him through no filter. Sultan Moulay Ishmael, 1,000 children. You can't run him through no filter. And do you notice every time somebody gets ran through this filter, right? Do you notice that more women are down with it? Hmm? Do you notice? Whatever you're saying about these men, there are women that are down. For every design of a man, there's a woman just like that. For every stinky nigga, there's a stinky ass chick. For every fly dude, there's a fly chick. For every intellectual dude, there's an intellectual chick, right? For every dude that got a big dick, there's a chick with a big pussy. For dudes that like to travel, there's a chick for that, right? For the dudes that are into sports, there's a chick for that, right? There is a chick for every type of dude. I think that black women specifically, I'm going to make it real specific. I think black women handicap each other's individuality a little too much. Like if you don't do this, or sis, this is how you need to live as a black woman, she's an individual first. Period. She don't owe you shit. You don't owe her shit, right? She get to choose herself. Black women also can divest from each other, not just men. Black women can divest from the black app as well, right? Do you. There doesn't need to be a think piece on how other black women need to live. What you do is, right? What you do is you create product. And if you like a divestment chick, right? What you do is create product, make people pay for it. You ain't telling nobody to live how you, whatever. What you did is create product and people could do it or not, but you get paid for it, right? And that's what we do. And the niggas gotta fit into a hip hop lens. Yeah, men don't do that. Men don't do this. A real man, that term is crazy. A real man. And do you notice a real man and real woman is whatever the public agrees with. So what makes him a real man is that I agree with him, right? So a real black man would do this right here. He would wear this kind of clothes. He would have this kind of sex. He would have this type of haircut. Yo, you do not have to live in none of those apps. That is a Negro plantation. That's all that conversation is. It is a plantation conversation. Because why would a dude that make 30 million explain the fact that he don't want marriage? If he don't want marriage, he don't want marriage. You can't run him through a filter, but you're creating kids though. Sorry, he who has the gold rules. Oprah has the gold, she rules. I know that shit hurts because poor people expect the rest of the world, and then people that are not poor, you expect them to go by the rules that you have to go by. So as a poor woman, you might have to get up under a man and be married and he have provision over you. Do you notice when you hear rich business women talk, they don't talk about no nigga, no man having provision over them? I have never heard Oprah talk about a man leading her, having provision over her. That is when you are a poor woman. When you are a rich woman, number one, for you to get rich, you have to have some type of provision. You don't need a man to think for you. When you need a man to lead you and to think for you, you probably come from the ghetto, right? You probably come from an environment that is very harsh. And I got rich women's books in my library They don't talk about a man having provision over them. You know who does talk about being in their femininity? You know who does talk about men stepping up and to lead them? Oftentimes poor women, right? Poor men talk about the same. Poor men say things like this: we don't care about a woman's education. That's only a poor man. Or new money. That's a poor man or new money. We don't care about a woman's money. We only care about a woman's looks. If that's the case, the most attractive people in the world are not rich. The attractive people are broke. When you are mating, you mate from the neck up. Well-to-do men that come from good stock and pedigree definitely choose women because of their education, because you understand the science of mating. You don't pick a woman because of her face, because that has nothing to do with running industries and institutions. The richest people in the world are some of the most physically ugly people in the world, men and women. Only the poor mates and has children with people they're sexually attracted to. When Kevin Samuel says feminine, fit, friendly, what does he come from? The poor class. The most of the guys in the red pill, are they heirs to anything? No, they're not. They are poor people telling other poor people how to mate. But when we study the lifestyles of the Kennedys, the DuPonts, when we study the lifestyle and the descendants before they lost their money of the Vanderbilts, when we study people that keep remaining in power, they don't mate like the poor. These women have went to Harvard. They have went to Yale. They are Kamala is a prosecutor. She just happens to still be easy on the eyes. Michelle Obama's background is what? Hillary Clinton is what? If they're nice looking, even better. Kamala is a prosecutor. She is not broke. She is not dumb. These women sit on the Council of Foreign Relations. These women are in the building when real major moves is being discussed. They are at the World Economic Forum. How are they dressed? Are their titties out? How are they dressed? How are the most powerful women in the world dressed? They could be straight up freaks. You would never know it. How do they dress? They dress in a way that they go in a room and compete with men. Straight up. They run circles around men mentally. Right? Their shirt is not open. Do you know why? Because they're there to do business. When you're there to do business, same for a man, you're not going to wear gray sweats, right? The reason why men oftentimes wear suits is because it kills the sexuality, right? The suit is usually black or blue, right? Dark colors, nothing flamboyant, nothing extravagant, because you're there to do business, right? You turn up after the deal is done, right? Sorry, what was Olga wearing with Cam Newton? That wasn't business. That was about being sexually attractive. And she's fire. Don't get it twisted. She's fire. But look at the shit for what it is. Entertainment. There's no reason to make a huge think piece. There's no reason to choose a side. Oh, see, this is what's wrong with men. And she ate him. That shit is entertainment. How do we know? Because she was glamorized. That's glamour. Right? That's all it is. They're running a bag up. I'm talking about it right now. They're talking all about it social media. And you know what the problem is? The public chooses a side. For the women, it's just more confirmation on how trash black men are, right? For black men is just confirmation on the educated black woman. Do you see? It's this. You see the play, right? She's about to do more interviews, right? And Cam is in the algorithm. You know what I mean? Because it looked like she was trying to have a breakthrough. Do you think Cam is about to stop his behavior? Do you really think that was an intervention and he's seen the error in his ways? Hell no. He's going to get exactly what he wants. If he wants more kids, it's going to be baddies lined up ready to give him that. Are they dumb? No. He made $30 million in 1 year. I thought women like security. Right? But I think it's important for black women not to mirror neurons. What you see one woman do, sis, says nothing about you. Right? What you see one woman do with a man or don't has nothing to do with you. And I'll say this and I'll say it all the time. Their sisterhood seems like they're like this, right? And it's all about the sisterhood and it's all about sticking together. All right. Will any one of them share that dick with you of Cam's? Try to get on them, right? No. You got to get your own rich nigga. So that's cap of the female camaraderie, right? That's cap. Because share that dick. You ain't going to share that dick? Nah, you going to be like hands off. Why? He made $30 million. You try and keep all the resources to yourself. This is all social media shit. It's all talking points. Means absolutely nothing. Stay on the path. Don't choose a side. Don't choose a side in election. Don't choose a side with celebrities. Don't choose a side. Pick you and whatever your arm length can touch. Because nobody got you. Nobody got you. It might feel like you got family in the comment section. It might feel like you're all family when you drag an individual. When you stitch a creator on TikTok and everybody's disagreeing with him or her and y'all all gang up. It feels like togetherness, right? Until you need some help, right? Focus on your business. Keep the main thing the main thing. America's based on capitalism. Stop trying to tear the system down. And as a black American, figure out how to work it. Because we've been here the longest. There's no reason why people get off the boat and they get to it. We are the only people trying to tear the goddamn system down. Everybody else goes to college. Everybody else is buying houses. Everybody else is getting a mortgage. We are steady boxing with capitalism and it's kicking our ass. So when a woman lays down with Cam Newton and becomes the 5th and 6th and 7th baby mom, she's just doing what the rest of women around the world do. Look at the sheiks in Dubai. Look at Qatar. Look at the women from around the rest of the world. They're doing the same exact thing. The problem is it's on a black woman, and we need the black woman to look like Coretta and Betty, and we need the black man to fit into this weird religious lens of civil rights. When niggas say let's come together, that's what they think. That's the ideal that comes in their head. This we shall overcome, and when it's over, we come back to eating a cup of noodles and Spam. Right? I don't blame a chick for laying down with a rich nigga and getting pregnant. Work the system though. Right? Before you, fuck being married before you conceive. Life insurance before you conceive. Right? Allowance before you conceive. For some reason, I know what marriage is like. I don't know what it is with black marriage that is just, it's like Robitussin. You got a broken leg? Just get married. It's because we're not married, right? It's because we're not married. Do you know that we used to be married more than white people in the country and was still poor? What is it about marriage, y'all, that you have in your mind, right? It's about the science of mating, right? The science of mating, Mating doesn't necessarily mean marriage, but for some reason we think that right there is the end all be all. Yo, it's an alien invasion. Nigga, you better propose to that chick. We could be having a solar flare. Just get married. that is like, I'm married. It's the same way in black culture. How your son doing? Oh shit, he going to school and working, and we be like, oh okay, he doing good. The bar is low as shit. All you have to do in black America is say, she's married. He's married. And the ideal that pops up in niggas' minds is like, damn, y'all are doing really well. And that's what this is all about. If Cam married all the women and put them all in one house, then they would say, bitch, I can never. They stupid. You see? It don't matter. Do you know what I'm saying? If you marry a black man, then it's, do you know they the poorest niggas in the world? Right? If you marry a black woman, then they say, yo, why are you marry her, man? Black women is the most masculine. It don't matter. Figure out a way to win. Figure out a way to get ahead, right? And focus on you and yours. And when your cup runneth over, maybe you can be community minded. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you could be community minded. But as a millennial, you should be making marriage in your own image anyway. As a millennial, you're caught in the old world and the new world. As a millennial, you're caught in a world before social media and the internet, and now you're in this world. Millennials are struggling of how to live. You don't know if you need tradition or normalcy. You are caught in the middle in a weird space. Meanwhile, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, Gen Beta, they're already born into this world. A millennial is so confused on, what do I do? I'm non-traditional, non-conformist, but then I need to conform, but then I need to do this. Listen, man, as the millennial, you are the painter and the artist. You grew up in hip-hop culture, and our culture was all about wearing pants backwards, cuts in your eyebrows, experimentation. Why do y'all get to 35 and 40 and you don't know how to conduct your life? What is it about the millennial that you're going through crazy depression, trying? It's the millennials that are talking about back in the day. Back in the day for us is the 90s. Back in the day is not the 40s for us. I'm 40 years old. Back in the day is 96. Do you know in 2 years, 1996 is 30 years from now? 30 years ago? Illmatic, the album came out in 30 years ago. That's back in the day. For some reason, we think back in the day is the 20s. That ain't our back in the day. And because of that, we have amnesia, as if Little Kim album didn't have her monkey out. Why are you don't know what Sexy Red is? As if we didn't watch Basic Instinct and Showgirls and Madonna didn't have the Truth or Dare book. Y'all got amnesia? Y'all don't know how we got here? Right? You're desperately trying to have a romantic view of our life, like we wasn't hoes. Like we wasn't smoking weed. Like we wasn't at latchkey kids. I ate government cheese. I know what that shit is like. I know what a food stamp is like. I don't have amnesia, right? So I know exactly what I'm looking at with the youth, and I know exactly where, man, tradition. Man, my mama worked 2 jobs, man. What tradition where? I got in the crib and put a hot dog in the microwave on a paper towel and ate a cup of noodles and steakums. Tradition? What do you mean tradition? I watched Def Comedy Jam. Y'all trying to go back to some black Afrocentric John Henrik Clark shit? Man, that shit is over. So that's the lane that y'all judging it for. That's the lane that you're judging all of the behavior for, because you want to package it in a way where whites and others, tethers, right, look at our life and approve. That's all this shit is about. So when you're looking at Cam Newton on stage, what you're on the couch saying what he's saying, you're listening through it through a Mexican lens and a Caribbean lens and a other lens, and you're viewing it through that lens. See, this is why no one takes us serious. Who do you need to take serious with you that's not giving you a loan? Who do you need to take you serious? If you're not doing business with people, why do you need to be taken serious? Right? Who gives a damn what somebody from another country thinks about how if black women are married or not? You're not even doing business with them. Why do you care? Right? Why do you care? Because this is all this shit is about. If this shit was a vacuum and it was being viewed by black Americans and that's it, then it wouldn't be a problem. The problem is you're looking at it through a lens of other groups of people are judging. But do you know their culture and what's going on with them? Because if you did, you wouldn't think other groups of people work together. You wouldn't think that other groups of people are doing something that you're not. Black Americans got access to a capital in the world that nobody else got access to. And you keep fucking with identity politics like identity is going to get you some money. You think that being politically correct and not saying shit is going to get you some money. You think that if you fit into this very narrow view of humanity, that's going to get you some money. You know what's going to get you some money? A great product. You know what's going to get you some money? A great ideal, great marketing, great branding at a good time, right? And I'll end here. They're working outside, so sorry for the noise. I'll end here. You are bugging if you get involved. I'll do a video about this another time. You're bugging if you align yourself with a tether conversation. Do you know why? Because I need to network with Jamaicans, Haitians. I need to network with other people. You know why? Because I'm thinking about the me business, not the we business. You are tripping on not networking people that have a home elsewhere, right? So instead of being divisive and getting involved with who's really black, match value for value, right? Does the Haitian, Jamaican, Dominican, Panamanian, do they share the same values as you? Not the god lineage. You're not getting reparations. Just get over it. It's not coming, right? You already have reparations. My bad. It's called Wi-Fi. Make it shake, right? So I'll be damned if I'm arguing about who's oppressed more and who deserves what. Man, listen, I'm trying to network with the Jamaican. I'm trying to network with the Haitian. I'm trying to network with the Mexican. I'm trying to network with people that ain't from here and plant my flag other places instead of being online talking about who's a tether. But okay, cool. If I'm really FBA and all this shit, what's the perk? What's the perk? Right? What do I get for being in the group? What's the group membership perks? So yeah, I'm the lineage, I'm a descendant slave, you descendant slave. Okay, now what? See? Now what? But that Jamaican got land in Kingston, in Montego Bay. And they've taken a liking to you. They like your values, and your values match their values. And they want you to come for a visit. And boom, the whole world opens up. Or the person from Dominican Republic, or the person from other world. What you're doing, engaging in that tether conversation, is putting yourself right in this box. The box of blackness, right? Where you have no network, no friends, no people that you can branch out to see, nobody to spar with. It's the box of blackness, right? You got me? Shout out to the person that sent me the super chat earlier. I didn't see it, see the name, but let me see. Any questions? Working from my phone today. Migrants here ready to work. Yup. Let me see. What's crazy is that doctor was speaking to Kim, was wearing a bodycon dress. Oh yeah, she was fire. That's what I'm saying though. She was fire though. I mean, very, very attractive woman, right? But that shit ain't business though, right? She's very attractive woman, curvy, baggy, right? Ain't she 40 something? She fire. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to R.A. Spence. Yeah, one of them ones. You know what I mean? We just flowing off the cuff. But no, real talk though. I like to sit with something when I see it. You know what I'm saying? I never comment when something is happening. And I just was looking at the conversation circling around. I'm like, wait a minute. Cam got 3 baby mamas, they black women. What's different between their behavior and when women do it in the Middle East for sheiks and sultans? It's the same shit. The difference is he ain't a black man. But $100 million by 35, that's sultan shit in America. Don't get it twisted. The only problem is who's doing it. Because there's a desperate need for black men and women in America to fit in this narrow box of how your relationship should look, and that's all we're just performing for each other, begging to be the king and queen of niggas. That's all it is. And if a woman is the baby mama of a rich nigga, she can't be the queen of the sisterhood. It has to look a certain kind of way. And if a man, whatever, if a black man, whatever he chooses, he has to, for him to be the king of niggas, he has to look and operate within a certain box that the Shade Room, Baller Alert, and spiritual world agrees with. If they don't agree with your life, they put the pressure on you, call you dumb, call you cool, call you low self-esteem. Meanwhile, this is the same group of people that are okay with these dynamics. Mexican, Haitian, Dominican, Chinese, Japanese, German, Nigerian, Ethiopian, all nationalities. The black man and woman in America has no nationality. All these names are associated with a land. So while we're talking about if cis got low self-esteem and the black man got low self-esteem, these is two groups of individuals with no nationality. They go to the UN and argue about the plight of being a color, as if this is something biological, right, with no color. Meanwhile, the Japanese go for Japan, right? Saudi Arabia go for Saudi Arabians, right? The Nigerian go for Nigerians. But the black man and woman has no nation, just floating. It's a corporate fiction. It exists on the 13th, 14th Amendment, non-descendable. But that's not an argument, right? Shout out to Charlo. Would an American be? I would say so. I wouldn't say black. I just say American. I identify as American. You know what I'm saying? Just American, straight up. No, I'm not FBA. I'm just American, with the politics, with everything. I'm not aligned with bureaucrats. America for me is the land. It's the ancient mounds all up the Mississippi, right? It's the indigenous people that were here and that are still here, right? America is for me is the national parks. It's Niagara Falls. America for me is not the politics. It's not the bureaucrats. It's not the government, right? America for me is Benjamin Banneker creating the almanac. You know what I'm saying? America for me is the jazz. It's the food. It's the people. Even when we don't disagree, I'm American. You know what I'm saying? No matter what, if the Chinaman was to invade here, even though the white man is my brother in arms, it is. We'll figure out our conflict later, right? But I have more hot take. I have more in common with a white man in America than I do an African. I have more in common with him. All right. As much as we try to say we're not alike, I'm very much alike. Right? I was raised Christian. He was raised Christian. Same public schools, same food, same MTV, same VH1, same shit. I got more in common with him than I do an African. Fuck what Umar talking about. Right? So yeah. But we want to tear America down, right? And there's something, but how you going to tear something down and be in it though? So we want to tear America down, tear capitalism down, burn the whole thing down, but we're in it though. They never tell you what comes after. They never tell you about revolution and that shit sound good, but you're going to tear America down and be in it at the same time? Come on, man. Right? We're desperately trying to tear America down as if Jeremiah Hamilton wasn't rich in the 1800s. As if Annie Malone, the teacher of Madam C.J. Walker, as if she wasn't rich in America. As if Mary Ellen Pleasant wasn't rich in America. How about this? How about there's some niggas that just can't cut it? And those people need to just raise their hand because everybody not gonna go. They would like the system to be torn down because they ain't got no business, right? Because they can't cut it. So they want the system to be torn down. Shout out to my dog for the 1111. Shout out to you, fam. Long time. You know what I mean? But nah, man, I'm me personally, I'm not beefing with no Jamaicans. I'm not beefing with no Haitians. I'm not beefing with no other people that come from the struggle or the diaspora or whatever. I'm trying to network. All that divisive shit, you ain't trying to do no business, right? I want friends in Jamaica. I want friends in Honduras. I want friends all around the world. I don't want my friends just in American ghettos, right? And and I don't care how the African or the Caribbean comes and views some niggas. I am not all black people, right? So if they look at niggas as lazy, I'm not about to be like, oh yeah, no, not me. That's their POV. They don't have to like every nigga. Just worry about you liking me. See? That's me business, right? How I show up. So I don't care if Caribbean people look at Cam Newton and be like, oh man, that's what's wrong with them rude boy bumper clods. That's their opinion. What's good with a Jamaican patty, bro? I'm worried about my patties. I'm worried about my patties and my ginger beer. Right? I don't care if he doesn't like every other nigga. I don't either. So that's fine. I on the prize. You understand? I'm very indifferent, right? Other black people around the world come to America and do business in American ghettos with glass up, right? So they've been having an experience with blacks in this country. However that goes, I cannot tell them that their experience is not true, right? If you got to do business with a glass up, that says a lot. You feel me? So when niggas be like, yeah, they come to America and they don't like blacks, I'm like, who y'all talking about? Who are you talking about? I am an individual. Don't speak for me. Because what you're trying to do is go right back to this black box again and have me paranoid about the whole world and have me thinking nobody cares about me, right? And nobody wants to see me and nobody wants to do business with me. You crazy? You crazy? Right? So in closing, don't tell black women to choose better, but then when they get pregnant and be the baby mom of a rich nigga, acting like that's not a better choice than being married to a regular dude. It is a better choice. There's consequences for either though, right? There's consequences for a woman marrying a poor man. There's consequences. There's consequences on a woman marrying a rich man, right? Just because you see your dad every single day and you see your dad wake up with your mom, what does that mean when Cam Newton will be that child's role model? So let me get this straight, and then I'm gonna go. It's about optics. You need to see your parents every single day. Your dad needs to be home with you. Cool, right? So you have married men with the nuclear, what we call traditional family, but he ain't the kid role model. Cam is. So you have this dad that goes to work, blue collar dad, but the kids' role models are outside of the house. That's a slap in the face. So Cam might not see all his kids every day, but what if he's their role model though? First off, familiarity breeds contempt. So I got a 16-year-old, and there's times where I put distance between us. He's used to being in the house with me, but there's some times where I put distance to us because I don't need to be predictable to my child, right? I have to have a level of mystery, right? He doesn't need to know how I'm going to react to every single thing, right? So now that he's 16, he don't need to see me all the time, right? He needs to wonder, damn, how would my dad respond if I do this? How would my dad respond if I do that? And we live in the same house. But there are times when I know he's coming home and I will remove myself and I will come back when he's asleep. Or if he gets out to school, I raised him, but now we're at a different stage in our relationship. He does not need to see me every day because I don't care who it is, mother, father, children. Familiarity breeds contempt. There needs to be mystery. Do you know why people believe in God? Because they don't see it. If they seen this shit every day, they wouldn't believe it. So if I said the trees are God, people will say, no, it's not. Why? Because you see it every day. You're familiar with it. There's no mystery there. If I said the rain or the snow is God, you wouldn't believe it. Why? Because you see it every day. You're familiar with it, right? You believe there's a higher power because you don't see it. The moment, if you seen Jesus every single day, you would wind up hating him. The moment he burps, the moment you see him eat food, like, nigga, ain't nothing special about you. That's the human mind. You have to put the thing out of reach to admire it. That's why we treat celebs the way we treat them. That's why they are called stars and we elevate them. Why? Because we don't have access to them. The moment you have access to them, the moment where you see them a lot, they are no longer stars. They are falling stars. They are regular. There's nothing special about them. That also happens with mom and dad too. The reason why the babies disrespect mama sometimes is because they see her every day and they have access to mama every day. They have access to all her flaws. They have access to when mama's crying. They have access to when mama's insecure or mama's going through anxiety. So when she becomes a disciplinarian, the children are like, psst. Why? Because they see mama every day. Now let daddy step in and give mama a break for a month or two. When mama come back, they will not know how to read that. Right? They will not know how to feel mama out, right? They're gonna feel her out for a second. Like, should I do this? Should I do that? Y'all need to think about that. When you're talking to older community, these kids don't respect their mom. How can you respect something you see every day? How can you respect something where there's no mystery? Right? How can you respect something where there's no distance between you? Right? If I went live every single day, my value would go down. Like, you can see me every day. You got access to me every day. I don't go live every day. I'm not on camera every day. There's a distance between me and the people that I'm talking to. You don't know what the hell I'm doing, right? The moment where you see too much, whatever you thought about me is not going to stay the same, and it's not even your fault, right? It's not even your fault. It's just how we are. There has to be a level of mystery for us to admire things. There has to be a distance between us and the thing that we respect. Because once you bring the object or the thing closer, we start to look at it differently, right? So people assume that if a person like Cam Newton is not there every single day, then the children are unhappy. What? Don't run that through what you need. That's what you need. That's what you need. When I was a child, I didn't have my dad, but I didn't need him around. I needed toys and a bike. I needed shit, right? For real, for real. I need a daddy now at 40. Like, nigga, what do I do now, right? I needed my dad. I needed a dad when I turned 21. I needed a dad when it was time to buy an apartment and go out into the world and do shit. I didn't need a dad at 5. I needed a mom. Right? I didn't need a dad at 5. I needed things and stuff, and I was trying to play. Right? I need a dad now that I'm grown, because I need help doing shit and thinking, and what does retirement look like, and what does turning 50 look like. I need an OG and a granddaddy now. I did not need him then, because I need a bunch of shit and there's some mouths that I gotta feed, and I do need another nigga to step in and help me. But when you don't got that, right? So don't project what you need, right? A baby, that's about mama nursing. That little babies belong to mama. They don't belong to daddy. They belong to mama, right? Grown-ups belong to daddy. Right? So make sure you don't choose sides in none of this stuff. Make sure you don't get caught in the entertainment aspect of it. You know, make sure you don't forget to do you, right? Pick yourself in everything, right? And remember, if you got to throw your hands up to fight, you already lost the war, because true warfare is mental. So respect to you, even if you wish me the opposite. Sooner or later, we'll all see who the prophet is.